What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened and my Apprentice miniseries. We are making our way through to the next boss, and that's going to bring up another quick tip, and that is spending gold. We haven't spent any gold so far. We're at 136,000 gold saved up now. Now, as you progress through the game and you go up into higher difficulties, not only is the quality of loot going to get way better, the amount of experience is going to get way better, and additionally, the amount of gold you earn is going to get way better. So instinctively, in a lot of games, you're usually hesitant to spend any of your gold early on, as you're not sure what you should be spending it on. And without a doubt, in Dungeon Defenders Awakened, you can just spend your gold on whatever you want. As you move up and you move forward, the amount of gold you have right now is going to be considered quite trivial in the overall game. For example, here, I've got 136,000 gold right now. That's through the entire playthrough so far from the very beginning, as I haven't spent anything. And that is like less than what would drop in just a small portion of one wave in Massacre. So, by all means, don't worry about spending your gold. Save it up. If you want to hoard a little bit of gold and get a little bit of gold flowing to upgrade your gear, then the thing to do is to jump into a survival mode. Now, the meta entry-level survival map is Ancient Mines, the second map in the game. This is considered the easiest survival map to do. You can push very far. You're going to make an enormous amount of gold by doing this. However, we are not going to jump into survival for this one, but since we do have a boss fight upcoming, one of the easiest ways I could make this boss fight a little bit easier is to upgrade my weapon. So I've got 136,000. That's not going to get me super far, but it will get me some upgrades on the weapon. Will that even get me all the way? No, it doesn't get me all the way, but it will get me 14 upgrades. Now, prior to upgrading, if we look at this staff, found this guy on the last map, pretty darn good staff. It is doing 74 damage per projectile. As you see, it's got 6 projectiles. So it is dishing out a nice little bit of damage up close if you can hit with all your projectiles. Farther from a distance, of course, it's going to just hit multiple enemies with those. However, if we go ahead and drop a little bit of our gold into this one, let's just blow everything we have. It looks like it was 14 upgrades. And now we take a look. We're doing 358 per projectile. Of course, if all the projectiles hit, we've got a considerable gain in damage output. Now, additionally, if you're playing on a hero that you're not building with, you can, by all means, put your stat points into attack. This is going to give you a considerable amount of damage gain just from your raw, natural, standard fire. So if you're not going to be building with that hero, if you are building with that hero, I do strongly encourage everyone to go into the builder stats. If you're not building with that hero, you can go all into attack and get yourself a little bit more damage upgraded there as well. Now, moving right along, we are on the throne room. This is the Goblin Mech boss fight, and really an iconic map from the original Dungeon Defenders. This one, of course, was remade for Dungeon Defenders 2 as well, and it was delivered as the Wildest West. This map is just a staple in the Dungeon Defenders universe. No difference here. And let's go ahead and get things started. Now, how do we want to do this? We've got, what, 490. I think just to start the first wave, we'll go with like a flame burst, just kind of on every area that we can. I think right here we'll kind of split them, have them pointed at the middle, the side lane and the middle area as well, hoping that we get a little bit of double dip. That gives me 170 left, so I will be able to get 2 more in, And I'm going to have to watch this one for sure. Let's go right like about like that as well. And let's see if that will get us through the first wave here. Now, additionally, since we just upgraded that weapon, our weapon is a powerhouse, y'all. So feel free to get on up in there. You are going to be just chewing through the trash mobs. Now, we upgraded this weapon to help us take on the boss. But of course, we get the side benefit of just being able to blast everything down in the lane. Even the big orcs, no match for an even partially upgraded weapon. Just really, really good stuff there. Let's just continue to mash them up. Oh yeah, we blazed right through it here, no problem. Now that we've covered hero synergies, we are going to be, each one of these mini-series, I'm going to be focusing on building on the main hero the mini-series is about. However, now that we've got some synergies in place, we are going to make sure we are building properly. So we're going to have heroes doing the right things in all the positions. Now let's see. Let's go ahead and add to this one here right now. We've got another 512 to work with, which isn't a tremendous amount, but it is something. Let's go with a Deadly Striker Tower right there. We'll go with another Deadly Striker Tower, say, like that. I'm not going to be able to get 4 of them down, but I will be able to get one more. We'll put another one, actually, I kind of want it over on this side of it. We'll put it like that, and then, what does that leave? That only leaves 60 left, so let's just go ahead and let it fly for one more wave. We'll get this one built out as we get along to it here, of course. Yeah, just even, you know, the orcs, if an ogre comes out here this wave, we're going to be able to just shred it. So it's just going to be good stuff. And upgraded weapon for the win. So, like I said, never ever hesitate to spend your gold. The amount of gold that you're saving up is just such a trivial amount. And then, if you want to just farm some gold, just invest some time in survival. That is actually kind of the meta strategy to get through the early game the quickest, is to mix in the survival runs as well. As it does just give you massive amounts of experience, gear, and gold. So doing that Ancient Mine survival every time you're breaking into a new tier it does take a little bit of time out of your runs to get that done, but it makes the entire rest of that tier, as far as the campaign goes, just super, super smooth and easy. Now, additionally, this weapon is physical damage. It does not have an element tied to it, and that was another reason why I didn't hesitate to go ahead and throw some upgrades on it, as I will be able to use this weapon effectively for a little while here. So, physical weapon, no elemental counters. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and get another... We'll go with another DST here. We're going to have to look and see what kind of DU we have left after this. I think we'll go ahead and go... We'll get that set up on every lane. Very nice. And then maybe we can start working on either some CC or some buff beams. I think buff beams are going to kind of be the staple there. We can get a 3DU buff beam. Actually, that will allow us to get a reflect beam as well in every lane. So we can get like a 3DU buff beam and a reflect beam everywhere. That's going to help out quite a bit. Something along those lines. I'm going to have to check that one out. It felt a little bit long. Buff beam and reflect beam. Same thing here as well. Actually, we're out of juice. Do we have enough juice here? Not enough juice. Alright, so we'll have to continue on with the build in the continuing waves. So we have a little bit more here, actually. $150 enemies left. I mean, these defenses, this defense combo is just so mean. You've got kind of one of the ultimate single target defenses and one of the ultimate AoE defenses on each lane. just makes for just absolute mayhem. It just will completely mash everything there. Doing quite well. Now, every boss in the game has some form of a boss mechanic. This particular one, for any Dungeon Defenders 2 players that aren't familiar with this boss from Dungeon Defenders 1, this is the boss that inspired the Siege Roller in Dungeon Defenders 2. Meaning that it's a goblin in a tank, basically. And it has a weak spot in the back. In this particular instance with the boss fight, the weak spot is going to be a hatch that opens up and will allow you to fire into it. By firing into this hatch, you're going to do massive amounts of damage and get the victory. Now, this boss, of course, is going to spray rockets out, plus has a mean old melee swing as well. Let's see. We are at wave 4 here. We're getting closer and closer to this boss. Let's see if we can't get this this build wrapped up here. That leaves me 12. We can go with another one here. And I think that will leave me just enough for some emergency walls. Really, I got the choice of crowd control or walls. And I think just slapping down some emergency walls is probably going to be the safest bet. So we can just do something like that. We can go something like right there. Right there. Let's grab all this juice down here as well. And it's actually going to leave me a little tickle of DU left. Go ahead and drop a wall there. And we'll drop a wall there. This is basically just if any kobolds or whatever roll out, gives that kobold a target or something to hit. Or you know what we can do just to be safe? We can actually throw one in. Why don't we throw one in like right there and then right here. Now, this wall will get destroyed, and that brings us to another point that I wanted to cover. Although there are boss mechanics on each boss, every boss has a little bit of a weakness mechanically, just with its own design. You'll have to learn each individual boss's weakness as you play along. Oh crap, I forgot the buff beam over here. I guess we'll pass on it on this side. Now, this particular boss, the weakness is it can't go anywhere other than the main area. It's a big tank, so it doesn't have room to go up these stairs. It's not going to be able to go up and like hit at any of the towers up top or anything like that. So with that in mind, if you don't build anything down below, there is going to be nothing down below to get destroyed. And that is just a huge benefit. So let's actually get rid of that. Doesn't give me enough to put in a buff beam here, but I can at least give it a reflect beam. And you know what? We'll leave one wall down here. I'm going to put it on this side, though, as the boss is always going to spawn on this side of the map. You're going to see the little rift portal up above. That is where the boss is going to spawn. So this will give us a little kind of backside protection during the boss fight itself. Now we got 200 left. Let's just spray in a couple of upgrades, and we'll let it fly once again. You see we got an ogre this time, but check it out with our newfound damage. Oh yeah, we're actually able to DPS the ogre as well. Now I jumped backwards into his snot ball that was exploding. That is quite unfortunate. But we are able to just get that ogre burned out super quick. This one over here actually died to those DSTs. So that's just incredible. And then we've got the lovely Dark Elf Warrior, which without a doubt will be your biggest headache as you play through Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Those guys are lovingly referred to as assassins, and it's for a good reason. They do like to smack you. They are quite mean, that is for sure. In fact, the developers love how mean those Dark Elves are so much that it just puts a little smile on their face every time a player is taken out by a Dark Elf Warrior. Let's keep burning it up. And we got some points. Looks like we got another level, so we got some points to throw in prior to getting to that boss wave as well. The boss is going to come right after wave 5. So it will start like a 6th mini wave. That's just the boss and the enemies that come along with it. And it looks like we are just beasting it out here. The Dark Elf Warrior was getting stuck. Alright, so we got a bunch more mana. Let's go and throw some upgrades in. Once again, I'm upgrading the towers over the buff beam just to get the additional range. As you progress through the game, it's going to become kind of a no-brainer that you always upgrade the buff beam first. But we are going to get as much range as we can on those towers. And then, you know, just to make life a little easier, especially considering we can respec at any point, let's go ahead and put those 4 points into attack. It's going to make us hit slightly harder. However, we're not going to be missing any of that damage. Because, you know, it's damage from the level up that came over that wave. So we didn't really lose anything. You see, we're now hitting for 630 per projectile. So just those 4 points made a big damage difference. We're able to just super shred everything there. Now, the same is true with your hero points, as it is with your defense points. All of your stat points have diminishing returns, which means the lower point, the more value you're going to get out of it. So, like those being the first 4 points into attack, I'm going to get the most value out of those points as I will any points that I ever have into attack. Let's go ahead and get through the rest of these baddies. Looks like we can kind of almost just handle that lane. Now, since the defenses are doing so good against the ogres, I'm just going to get right in on the boss. So when the boss comes, the boss here is going to have rocket fire that you'll have to dodge, and certainly could have some unnecessary deaths off of. But additionally, it's got a melee attack that's kind of like a circular spin as the boss's saw blades just chew through everything. So I'm going to have to watch those. You don't want to get too close to it, that way you avoid the spin. However, you are not safe anywhere within line of sight once those rockets start flying. So the key there is just to keep moving. Get your best Mike Tyson going on and get your bob and weave happen and make sure you're moving out of those rockets. Now, we got a decent little amount of power built up just from natural gameplay, of course, but just knowing where to put the points and what defenses to use, we do have a very nice bit of power built up, so we may actually miss some of the boss mechanic just due to the fact that we're going to be able to kind of powerhouse through a lot of the stuff here. Go ahead and go another upgrade. Get a couple of more ups on that buff beam, get a little more damage out. Just spend all of the juice here. Boss is almost upon us, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that one. Oh, and there it is, the Overdrive. This particular rune is, without a doubt, the most powerful rune in the entire game. Just so crazy strong. We'll be taking advantage of that on the last map here as we progress through for the end of this Apprentice mini-series. That is for sure. We still have one more episode. Next up, I think it is time to go with the Huntress. "25 seconds and the boss man is here." Let's get one more upgrade in. I guess we'll just throw it on that buff beam there since it's right here near us. And let's get ready to chew him up. Now, this one, the little door that opens up is on the backside of the enemy. It will actually show it and give you kind of a little teaser towards what's going to happen during the boss cinematic. So there is the boss itself, the goblin mech. And you see there is the hatch that's going to open up. So it gives you a little sweet spot into the boss's kind of weak point. Here come the rockets. We're actually doing massive damage to them without even going for the weak spot. That is the power of an upgraded weapon. And the door is open, I believe. Or no, I think the door was open for a moment there. He opens and closes the door very, very quickly. Well, we got somebody running on the core. I'm not sure what that was. I think it was probably just a straight arrow. And there we go. Oh, a rocket to the face right at the end. But we did get the victory. And then, as with every boss fight, there is a guaranteed accessory drop. This particular one is a bracer. So every time you kill this boss, no matter what difficulty you're on, you're always going to get a bracer drop. This is how you target farm your accessories at end game, is you farm the boss fights. So good stuff there. The Goblin Mech is down, and that will do it for this episode. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.